ジェームズ先生です。今日は火についてお話しいたします。Welcome everybody. This is Mr. Chang speaking. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about fire and a festival I once saw in Japan. But first, let's learn how to write the word fire in Japanese. Grab a pencil and a piece of paper. It's easy and it only takes 4 strokes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's as simple as it gets. That's the character for fire. Let's try 2 or 3 more times. Ready? And if you get a nice paintbrush, you can practice calligraphy and get a more beautiful effect than with just a pencil or a pen. The pronunciation of this character is hi, and hi means fire. Now here's an interesting note. Fire is the element that goes with Tuesday, because it's the second of 5 elements, and it's the second day of the week. It has multiple pronunciations, so even though when we're talking about fire, we say hi, when we're talking about Tuesday, we say ka, as in kayobi. Looks like there's some other interesting uses of the word fire as well. Let's take a look at a festival. This took place outside Kyoto, where I was fortunate enough to study for a semester in college. This was called the Kurama Hi Matsuri, or the fire festival of the Kurama village. I took a train outside of the city just a short ways, and this is what I saw. Even the children help out carrying the torches. This was a rainy day, which added to the drama. Fire and water, 2 elements in the same festival. Once you get over the loincloth, you can notice the torch here. It's so heavy it takes multiple people to carry it. They light it on fire and it produces just as much smoke as it does light and warmth. Fire is connected to lanterns as well. Here's a beautiful stone lantern carved outside of a Shinto shrine outside of Kyoto. I was going for a walk one day when I started to hear some drums. I was walking down a small trail to a little bit of a neighborhood outside of Kyoto, and I heard the drums, a mysterious sound. I didn't realize it until I got all the way down to the neighborhood. But at the local pavilion, this is a Shinto shrine where people can gather in the neighborhood, they were having a drum and fire festival. The drums were very exciting, and I heard them from almost a mile away. This type of drum is called taiko. You've maybe heard of it before, and if you haven't, I recommend finding a nice video of a taiko drum concert. Sure is exciting. The festival also featured lanterns. Many of them were floating down the river. It truly was a beautiful and mysterious sight, made more so by the fact that I didn't even know the festival was taking place until I stumbled upon it. Now on the way back from that neighborhood, I took a train, and because it was fall, the conductor did a special ceremony. He turned the lights off inside the train as we passed near some maple trees, and the maple trees themselves have some symbolic connection to fire because the leaves turn so red and yellow. There were special lights pointing upward into the canopy of the trees, and it looked beautiful from the inside of the train with the lights out. It was a special moment for sure. One last story about fire. This took place on the Gifu River, where I was teaching students after I graduated from university. These fishermen are practicing an ancient Japanese art of fishing using cormorants. Cormorants are birds. You can just barely see one bird here. Here you get a better view of the birds. Now the strategy is pretty simple. They light a fire in this giant brayer and dangle it over the water. The fire attracts fish, probably from the light, maybe from the warmth, hard to say, and the cormorants are able to snag the fish in their mouths. The fisherman controls the cormorants kind of like puppets with a little string that leads to a noose around their neck. It doesn't choke the cormorant, but it does prevent them from swallowing the fish. So when the cormorant catches a fish, it will hop back onto the boat. The fisherman will get it to spit the fish back up. And believe it or not, that's a good way to get food. I had a dinner that included fish from a cormorant, and it didn't taste like spit at all. It just tasted like fish. It sure was delicious. Certainly some people have concerns about the well-being of the cormorants, so this isn't practiced very much anymore except by a few practitioners who are maintaining a traditional art and an important piece of Japanese culture.